Don't you find it interesting that we were never taught about this old Tartarian technology?
Actually, no. I haven't heard about this so-called Tartarian technology from this Tartarian empire because the word Tartarian came from the word Tartari that was used by uh, European people in the middle century until the 19th century to describe the not well mapped areas of Central Asia, Mongolia, and also parts of Eastern Europa, where in these regions people like the Turk people, the Mongolian people, and also other nomadic tribes lived. Tatar came from a mispronounced word of Tatar that was used to describe the Turk people. But sadly, these days, the modern conspiracy theorist uses this word, Tartarian, as a word for a Tartarian empire that is apparently a hidden, globe spanning, advanced civilization that was destroyed by mudslides or something like that. It's-
Technology, yet they still subliminally told us in movies like Men in Black. Very interesting, right? There's so much evidence of these.
This vehicles he's talking about, like this thing, one behind me, is called a monowheel or a single wheel motorcycle. This was built in between 1910s and 1930s, where you could find it like in state fairs and so on. But this is actually a very unpractical vehicle because your main concern is where you should look when you drive, and there's a massive wheel right in front of you that's blocking your vision. Secondly, going to turns is also a problem, especially because of gyroscopic forces. So, when you go into the turn, getting back up is also a problem because of that gyroscopic forces. It was also unpractical for carrying stuff because there was no space. This can make you very nauseous because if something gets stuck, you are rolling with the wheel. You're not going to stay stationary anymore. This was very unpractical. There's reasons why it doesn't isn't mainstream today. You can still find it afterwards, after World War II, as uh, Guinness Book of World Records attempts and just as novelty items. But it's never been practical because there was already a more practical vehicle invented, a normal motorcycle with the two wheels.
These interesting vehicles found all over the world. And
Then he comes and throw up this image as evidence that ancient civilizations were part of this. As the globe spanning civilization, there's this evidence of their work. But this not. Let's start with this artifact. It was a Mesoamerican artifact of a man interacting with a snake. The snake is very stylized with geometric patterns that is usually seen as characteristic of the Olmec or early Mesoamerican people. In this image appears that the man is holding or possibly emerging from the serpent's mouth. The serpent has a symbolic meaning, possibly tying to fertility, power, and cosmic forces. And this is a very early picture of what the serpent would eventually become in the Mesoamerican cultures. Then we get this carving. This is one of the earliest carvings that depicts the ferret serpent. It appears to be coiled around an high authority figure or Quetzalcoatl. Looking at this guy's video, it actually amazes me how they can take images like this that you can clearly see is nothing close to that one wheel disaster and say, yeah, it depicts these futuristic vehicles. If you actually go do the research, you will actually find amazing stories behind these artifacts, behind these carvings that give you a glimpse, just an image of the minds of the people that came before us, our ancient ancestors, and what and how they believed. This actually tells a wonderful story. But the last image I want to talk about is this one. This is an image of the Maori people in New Zealand. This image predicts a tiki that in the Maori tradition represents the first humans. It is also a symbol of life, fertility, protection, and it was also seen as a link between the spiritual and the human realm. And the figure is sitting on that looks like a stylized bird or a canoe form. The bird head is seen as symbolism of a spiritual messenger, guardian, atua, gods or spirits. And the canoe form could symbolize exploration, immigration, or the journey through life. And the spiral and curves, koru motifs, is classic Maori designs that symbolizes growth, renewal, and unfolding of life. So this image can describe the journey of somebody's life, the journey somebody had through life. And like I said previously, I cannot see the similarities between that useless one-wheeled motorcycles that was completely unpractical and unsafe, and these images where you can clearly see it represents something else. It's actually sad to think that conspiracy theories can take stuff like this and trying to turn it into their motives, into what they want to sell to you, and not even do the effort to go learn the history of each symbol, of each carving. But in the rest of this guy's video, he just rambles on about all these one wheels and how the people is hiding, and that these are like a plague to humanity, and keeps showing the images of these mono wheels and one of the world's first electric car, a fully electric car, and just making up nonsense.